Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of the Backlot review. Now, if you've seen one of my reviews before, you know that I have sort of a system that goes into making one of these videos. But since it's been a while since I've done one of these, I've decided to kind of change the formula a bit. For starters, I'm only going to be focusing on the key good and the key bad things of each movie that I do. Secondly, I am taking out the spoiler section from these regular reviews, and I will be putting those into a secondary video instead. Now, I'm still keeping the rose-colored glasses review with the secondary review coming afterwards. That's all staying the same. And lastly, I'm going to be changing up my rating system entirely. So instead of out of 5, I'm going to be doing out of 10, which should kind of diversify my answers a little bit when in terms of the scores that I'm giving these movies. But you guys are here for a Thor review, so that's what I'm going to be giving you. So let's get on with our review of So, in Thor Ragnarok, we pick up with the adventures of the Mighty Avenger, the god of thunder himself, Thor, Odin's son, as he's kind of going through the 9 realms trying to pick up with the mystery that he started following back in Avengers: The Age of Ultron 2 years ago. So, for the last couple of years, he's been going around trying to figure out this whole Infinity Stones mystery, which has led him to some other things and leads him to where he begins in this movie. Now, with him returning, we also have a couple other familiar faces coming back. We have Loki coming back, of course. We have the Hulk, who's been missing for 2 years, finally coming back, and we finally figure out what happened to him at the end of Age of Ultron as well. And they all come together to face off against Hela, the goddess of death. And Hela is here to basically kind of take over the throne of Asgard after something happens in the beginning of the movie, and she's released, and she's now on her way to take over the throne of Asgard and basically get rid of all the Asgardians. Alright, so now we have the summary out of the way. Let's get on to the good.
Hello? I accept your surrender. Anyone else?
So right off the bat, this movie just looks amazing. Just the effects, the color palette, the just cinematography in general all looks great. The music is amazing and it's fun and energetic. We kind of got a taste of that in the trailers with all the kind of synth metal sort of playing in each trailer, and that's really the basis of the soundtrack for this movie, and I love that. It's amazing. Also, the fact that this movie takes place pretty much 99% in space off of Earth is amazing. You know, obviously we've been getting that with Guardians of the Galaxy, but just to kind of see space from a different point of view is really truly amazing on its own. You know, and since most of this movie doesn't take place on Earth, we kind of get rid of a couple of not so pleasant side characters from previous Thor movies, if you know who I'm talking about. And instead we pick up with some new and exciting, hilarious side characters like the Valkyrie, and even Korg and Meek have their moments in this movie as well. You know, I'd much rather see the adventures of Korg and Meek than whatever Darcy's up to. But yeah, just in general, like the pacing and all the action scenes were amazing. We finally get this unleashed version of not just Thor, but also the Hulk. He's a bit more savage than we've seen him before, but at the same time, he's also a bit more smart, as we've seen in the trailers as well, which I thought just added just an amazing new sort of color to his character, and it's totally something that I'm looking forward to in future movies, as well as this new version of Thor that we seem to have. But yeah, I'm not really sure what it was about this Thor. It's just that he just seemed more confident in what he was doing, but not cocky like he was in the first Thor. You know, and we especially see that with his relationship with Loki in this movie, where you can kind of tell like he's not really dealing with Loki's crap anymore. You know, he knows, like, I can't trust you. You know, no matter how many smiles Loki throws at him or how many smart remarks that he throws at him, you know, Thor kind of has this thing in the back of his mind saying, you know, I can kind of have fun with my brother now, but be wary of him as always. So yeah, overall, that's just kind of what I thought was good about the movie. So now, let's talk about what I thought could use some improvement or was straight up bad in this movie.
You're unworthy of the loved ones you have betrayed. I now take from you your power. In the name of my father and his father before. I own it all, father. Cut you out!
Now, it's hard for me to say that the humor was really a downside of this movie, but I mean, this is something I said with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, if you saw that review as well. It's not that I didn't enjoy some humorous moments in this movie. You know, it's a Marvel Studios movie. I know what I'm getting into when I go to these movies, and I'm not expecting things to be exactly like they are in the comic books. But at the same time, I expect there to be some levity and some weight to certain events in the movie, but a lot of the times those are undercut with a line of humor. You know, without giving too much away, like there are a few deaths in this movie that just really didn't feel important enough or special enough in a sense. You know, I don't really want to compare this movie to Thor: The Dark World, because these are two completely different movies on a completely different spectrum entirely. But when you go back and look at that movie and you see Thor's mom die, and you see how emotionally everybody is impacted by that, and they take a moment, and you even see like a great little thing from Loki where he completely lashes out, and you just see how it affects everybody. Then you go into this movie and, you know, bodies are being dropped left and right and nothing. You just feel nothing about some of these characters. That's when you know that your humor is just a little bit too much. And what I mean by that is it's not that it's not funny, and it's not that the jokes are bad or anything like that, but just that sometimes when you throw a joke right after something bad happens, then everything else that happens in the movie you can't really take seriously. Alright, so we talked about the good and we talked about the bad. Let's go ahead and get on with the rating. For Thor Ragnarok, I'm going to give it 9 out of 10 smashed Mjolnirs. Yeah, I really thought this movie was pretty amazing and definitely one of my top movies of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in general. I really love what they did with Thor in this movie. I really thought we should have had this version of Thor, you know, several movies ago. So, and as well as what they've been doing with the Hulk and even Loki and the Valkyrie. Everybody was just really cool in this movie, and I cannot wait to see it again. But anyway, go ahead and like this video. Make sure you subscribe so that you can see my secondary review for this movie and other reviews for future movies coming up soon. You know, go ahead and check out my Instagram, link down below, and I'll also link some of my other reviews for like Spider-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy from this year. But yeah, with that being said, I'm going to bring this video to a close, and don't forget to go out there and live fearlessly. Peace.